I just finished putting on my strings, and I tuned every one of them a half step sharp. I already know that they're going to have to be stretched out a little bit. And this is one of these things that I've heard people say different things about. They've said, well, if you stretch on them, you're going to pull all the life out of your strings. Your strings are not going to last you very long anyway. You really should change them pretty often. In fact, I change mine about every 3 to 4 shows, something like that. So don't worry about stretching the life out of your strings. Your strings are not going to live that long anyway. So what I do before I do anything else about trying to tune is I take the palm of my hand, don't be afraid to be aggressive about it. I put the palm of my hand right in the middle of the strings and I press them all the way down until they touch the fretboard, pretty aggressively. Then, and I do this especially on the E9th tuning because the pedals move the strings greater distances in most cases. But I go ahead and move all the levers and pedals that I happen to have attached to that neck. And that might be raising strings, it might be lowering strings, it might be doing all that stuff. And then I go ahead and I press them down again. And at this point, because they were tuned a half step high, and because I've stretched them out a lot, they will have settled pretty much to the spot where when I go through and tune them, they will pretty much stay there without too much additional tweaking. So that first one was up to D sharp. I just pressed on it a little bit. None of my pedals or levers affected that string. So the only thing that would have changed it would have been my downward pressure on it. And I'll see what it's at now. Okay, right now it's still a good bit above D, but it had dropped from D sharp down to where it was at least reading D. So now I'm going to go ahead and drop it down. And now it is at D. Now, there are a lot of steel players in the world. In fact, I would say most steel players in the world use some sort of tempered tuning system on their steel. I personally do not subscribe to that theory. I tune everything on my steel straight up to 440. That includes all the open strings and all the pedals and levers, so that when I hit a string, it should light up dead center of the meter on every string with any pedal in every situation. So when you're playing with other people like piano players and guitarists and things of that nature that are all based around the 300-and-something-year-old idea of equal temperament, you do everybody and yourself a favor to fall in step with that idea and tune everything to 440. I never, ever, ever have anybody on any gig complain about me being out of tune. I never have any session clients complain about me being out of tune. And the biggest reason for that is because I'm a big proponent of equal temperament. So now I just put my guitar, just tuned every string down to where they read straight up 440 on the meter. I'm going to go through them one more time. I'm going to do that pedal and lever moving thing again. I'm going to squash them down one more time. Go back through it. That one's dead on. The next one, slightly flat. The very last one, which that's pretty low. Sometimes the meter has trouble reading it. Now it's dead on. At this point, I'm ready to play my gig. My guitar will stay in tune for the rest of the show. Thanks, y'all.